Welcome to Roblox Snippets. In this video we're going to learn what a local script is and how to use it or not use it. Roblox defines a Roblox script as a Lua source container. It runs Lua code on a client, so that means your computer at home that is connected to the big Roblox server. So you can use local scripts to access client-only objects such as the player's camera and other items. For code run through local scripts, the local player property of the player service will return the player whose client is running the script. So that basically means that when a player clicks the button and on a client machine and sends a message through to the server, it also sends which player did that. Alright, so there's a couple of things that we need to learn about local scripts. The number one thing is a local script will only run Lua code if it's a descendant of one of the following. So a player's backpack, such as a child of a tool, a player's character model, a player's GUI, a player's player scripts, or the replicated first service. So a local script will run in any of those. Okay, let's create some code, and in this particular example I'm going to show you more or less how not to use local scripts, but you'll see how it works by the end. So to begin with, let's click on Server Script Service and we'll create a standard script, and we're going to call this our main script, and we're just going to give the player a leader stats folder and some gold. Okay, so type in the following lines: game.players.player added, and we'll connect a function and pass in the player, and then we'll get the player dot character added and connect function. Alright, so we'll create a quick leader stats folder. So local leader stats equals instance.new, and it will be a folder, and we want to parent that to the player. And leader stats.name equals leader stats. Alright, we'll give the player a local player gold, and it will be instance.new, and we'll make it a number value, parent that to the leader stats folder, and player gold dot name equals gold, and player gold dot value will equal well, we'll just say 10 at the moment. Alright, so if you've got that, this is just some example data sort of to work with, but that's what you want to have inside of your main script. Alright, so if you've got that, you can close the main script, and we will make use of that in another, or very shortly. Alright, so now in a game, we might have a touch function on a part that's going to give our player gold. So we're going to create that now. So in the workspace, add a part, and we'll come up the top here and we'll change this to our gold part just to give it a name, and we'll add to it a script. Alright, so this will be our, well, we'll call it, for the purposes of being a local script, we're going to call this our gold server script, because that is where this is running. Alright, so inside of here we'll create a basic touched event function that will give our player some gold. So script.parent and local db for debounce, set that to true, and the part.touched, we want to connect a function to that, and we'll pass in hit as a parameter for what's hitting the part. And for this particular example, we don't really need to get our character, so we'll just say player equals game.players, and we will say get player from character and put in hit.parent. assuming that that is what's going to hit the part. All right, so inside of here we can create a conditional statement, set our DB to false, and say task.wait1 and DB will equal true. Actually, we've got humanoid there, but we don't have our humanoid, so we'll just use DB. Alright, so inside of here then, we'll get our player stats. So local player stats equals player and wait for child leader stats. Oops. Sorry about that. Alright, leader stats and local player gold will equal p stats dot gold. And right underneath this, we're going to add a print statement in here, and you'll understand why shortly. But so player stats gold value equals, and then we'll put a comma, and we'll say player gold dot value. All right. Now let's now come over to we'll create a local script. All right, now, so we've got this part in here at the moment, and it's currently all it's doing is reporting to us how much gold the player has in this variable. All right, so coming over to our we'll come down to our starter character, and we're going to add a local script in here now. So local script. All right, we just leave that as local script so we know that that's what we're focused on. And in our local script, we'll get the players service. So local equals players with a capital P, game, get service, and players. So that gets all players in the game. And then the local player, which is the client. So remember, this is the local script, so this would be you on your computer, will be players.localPlayer. Underneath this, we can get access to our player stats. And we can say player, wait for child, leader stats, and local player gold equals p stats gold. And now we're going to add a for loop down here that's going to give our player some gold. So for I equals 1, and we'll say up to 10 do, and we'll say player gold dot value plus equals, and we'll give them 10 gold each time it goes round and round. All right, so print, and we'll say in here player gold on the client equals, and over here player gold dot value. So you'll see that we have two scripts. This one is giving player gold using exactly the same variables as we have over here, that's reading how much gold is in our variable. Right, so let's just before we'll just come to our gold part and make sure that we anchor our gold part, otherwise it can cause problems with our touched event. Right, so let's click on File and Save, and we'll also open up our output window, and let's just see what sort of messages we get when we run the game. Alright, so you'll see that straight away it's come up on the screen and it's saying gold 110. Alright, so I'm going, woohoo, I've got lots of gold. And on the client I'm getting 20, 30, so it's showing that it's giving me the gold. However, if I run over onto this server part, you'll see on the server I've only really got 10 gold. Right, now the whole point of this exercise was to show you that when you run something in a local script, all right, it doesn't affect the the server unless you wanted to, and there are ways that you can actually make that happen. All right, but unless so if an exploiter or someone was trying to give themselves gold on the client, then yes, they would see that they had, you could put 1,000,000 gold up here, but that doesn't mean on your server they have any more gold than what you've given them in the first place. I have another video called Remote Events, using remote events, that teaches you how to have the client change values on the server. The purpose of this video today, if we stop the video, was simply to show you the barrier that exists between the local or client scripts where we write our local code and what's going on the server. Okay, so it's a little bit hard concept to get your head around sometimes, that this is separate to what's going on the server. But if you watch my remote videos, remote events video, then it will tie those two things together for you. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in future videos. If you found this video useful, subscribe now. For more information about my online courses, go to mrbrendanross.com.